So, you're probably wondering if you can actually make a living as a writer, right? Especially with all these new AI tools popping up everywhere. Well, if that's you, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to lay out a super clear step-by-step roadmap to get you to your first big milestone, making $100 a day.
And look, this isn't some far-fetched pie-in-the-sky dream. Just take this quote from YouTuber Fafi. She shared how she makes a fantastic income as a copywriter, all from home with no degree. And her story just blew up because people suddenly went, wait a minute, this is a real thing I can do.
Which brings us to this number, $100 a day. It's real, it's tangible. It works out to about $3,000 a month. And for a lot of people, that is the magic number. It's enough to buy back your time, maybe quit that job you're not so crazy about, and really focus on growing. This right here, this is our first goal.
So here's how we're going to get you there. This is our roadmap. First, we'll dive into the huge opportunity that's basically hiding in plain sight. Then, we'll cover the basic skills you need to really stand out. After that, we'll get into the AI toolkit, show you how to avoid that terrible AI slop that so many beginners fall for, and then give you a simple strategy to land that first client. And we'll wrap it all up with a 30-day game plan to make it all happen.
Okay, let's kick things off with the opportunity itself. So, what even is copywriting? In simple terms, it's just writing the words for marketing stuff. Ads, emails, websites, words that convince people to do something specific, like click a link, sign up for a newsletter, or, buy something. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The state of the market right now is, well, it's kind of shocking. It's estimated that a whopping 80% of the copy out there on the internet is just bad, like really bad. It doesn't persuade, it doesn't really work. And what that means for you is that even as a total beginner, if you just learn a few key principles, you can immediately offer a ton of value. And the real gold mine? It isn't with those super competitive tech startups everyone's fighting over. Nope. It's with all the normal businesses out there. I'm talking about your local plumber, or a manufacturing company, or a mortgage advisor. These businesses have big marketing budgets, but their copy is stuck in that 80% of bad. A good copywriter can swoop in and literally double or triple their results. And believe me, they will be more than happy to pay you for that. All right, before we even think about opening an AI tool, we need to graduate from what I call copywriting kindergarten. Seriously, mastering these basic principles is the thing that will separate you from the pack and instantly put you in that top 20% we were just talking about. These are the rules of the game, plain and simple. First up, the rule of one. Every piece of copy you write should laser focus on one reader, one big idea, and one offer. That's it. You've got to grab their attention right away with a great hook. Then, and this one is so important, always focus on the benefits. What's in it for them, not just the boring product features. Always be clear before you try to be clever. And finally, you have to end with a strong, crystal clear call to action that tells them exactly what to do next. Just get these few rules down, and I promise you're already way ahead of the competition. Okay, now that we've got the fundamentals locked in, let's talk about the tools that are going to make your life easier. You really don't need a dozen complicated programs. All you need is a simple 2-tool system and a few proven frameworks to start pumping out high-quality work and fast. The strategy here is incredibly simple but super powerful. For all your research and brainstorming, asking questions, coming up with ideas, organizing your thoughts, you're going to use ChatGPT. But then for the actual writing part, you're going to use Claude. Claude is just way better at keeping a consistent brand voice and coming up with those clever analogies that make copy really pop. So how do you know what to write in the first place? Well, you use something called the cookbook method. And this is just brilliant for beginners because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just find ads and emails that you know are already working, you break down their structure, you figure out their recipe, and then you use AI to fill that proven template with your client's information. And this slide right here? These are your recipes. These are proven frameworks for how to structure persuasive copy. So let's just take QIDF as an example. It's a simple 4-step process. You start with a question that's already on your reader's mind. Then you build up some intrigue. Next, you share a key discovery, and you finish it off by offering them a freebie. See? You're just following the recipe. It's that easy. Okay, listen up, because this next part is, without a doubt, the most important section of this entire explainer. The biggest mistake any new AI copywriter can make is producing AI slop. You know what I'm talking about. that generic, robotic, totally soulless content that you can spot from a mile away. Your job, the thing clients are actually paying for, is to add the human touch. The quality you get out of an AI is a direct result of the quality you put in. It's that simple. To avoid that sloppy output, you need to give the AI a really detailed prompt. A framework like BRIEF makes sure you cover all your bases: the background, the results you want, clear instructions, examples for it to follow, and the final format. Because if you just give the AI a lazy one-sentence prompt, you get this. Subject: 10 plug-and-play hooks for your next reel. I mean, it's so bland, so generic. It just screams, I spent 5 seconds writing this prompt. No client is ever going to pay for copy that sounds this uninspired. But after a good prompt and a little human editing, you get this. See the difference? It's got personality. It has a strong, opinionated opening. And that marathon and flip-flops analogy, that's memorable. That's powerful. This is the kind of copy that makes a client look smart and actually gets results. And here's your final filter, the SLOP editing checklist. This is how you make sure all that robotic junk is gone. First, scrub the buzzwords and cliches. Next, do a language check. Read it out loud. Does it sound like a real person talking? Then inject some originality with stories and data that are specific to your client. And finally, add personality, a little humor, a strong opinion, something that proves a human was definitely here. Okay, so you've built the skills. You know how to create fantastic copy. Now for the big question. How do you get someone to actually pay you for it, especially when you don't have any experience to show off? Well, the best places to start looking are the freelance marketplaces like Upwork and Fiverr. Businesses are literally on there right now looking for help. You can also find some great gigs on LinkedIn and Indeed. And hey, don't sleep on your personal network. You never know who might need exactly what you can do. Here's a strategy that completely sidesteps the no experience problem. Go find one of those normal businesses with bad copy. Find one obvious weakness on their website. Then just rewrite a small piece of their copy for free and send it to them. You're showing them your value before you ask for a single penny. From there, it's a really easy conversation to propose a small, low-risk, paid project. All right, we've covered the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. This is your actionable, day-by-day game plan to turn all this knowledge into a real money-making skill. For the first 10 days, your only job is to practice. Every single day, pick 2 brands you'd love to work with and write a sample email for them. For the next 10 days, you're going to focus on speed. Do the same thing, but challenge yourself to write a fantastic email in under 20 minutes. And then, in the final 10 days, it's go time. You take the best pieces you've written and you start sending them out using that outreach strategy we just talked about. And the beauty of this whole plan is that by the end of the month, you don't just have some theory in your head. You'll have a real skill, a portfolio packed with awesome samples to show off, and chances are you'll already be talking to potential clients. But here's the honest truth. 90% of the people who watch this will think, that's pretty cool, and then they'll just go right back to scrolling through their feed. The entire path is laid out right here in front of you. So the only real question left is, are you in the 10% that's actually going to do something about it?